Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I am doing, yes, you got it. Fantastic. Hopefully you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate all of you. It is that time of year. Yes, we are kicking in the Christmas festivities. You notice I got some decorations up behind me. We got our tree up. I'll show that to you in some other video. But I got my Christmas lights up on the house. Yeah, I love this time of year. Most of you know that already. We're going to be diving into some Christmas themed videos, of course, here in the next few days and the rest of the month. As you know, I'll be able to keep doing videos this month as my son doesn't come in until later in the month. Confusion. But I explained that in the last video. So I hope everybody is having a great, great day. Today, this is a video that was requested a little while ago. I thought it's from a channel that has given us permission, Daniela. She is, I think, originally from Portugal, I believe, and she is trying to become a British citizen. So this video, which I thought would be it's not a Christmas themed video. We're not going to do all Christmas themed videos, but this is awesome. I think somebody wanting to become a British citizen, and this is her journey through that process. It's not easy. It's not easy. So I'm curious to see. I mean, A, if she actually does it, and B, the hoops, all the hoops that you need to jump through, essentially to get to that point. And I just think it's remarkable that, I mean, we all want her to be able to, succeed, and so hopefully she does. Hopefully this video ends in on a good note, right? So I invite you, come with me, sit on this big fake couch. You know the drill. Everybody is welcome. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. All right, let's do it. Oh, I almost forgot. The links below. She's, of course, blessed us with her permission to be able to watch and learn from her videos. We've done a couple from her before. They're on the channel, I believe. One was Cheddar Gorge, which was a long time ago. And then one more recent was Bournemouth, which was cool. Excuse me. So those were awesome videos. And she's got a ton. She doesn't just stay in the UK. She goes all over the place. So hats off to her. She is traveling a lot. So we're just blessed that she's allowed us to come along. But today's journey is a local one. And it's a big one. It's a big one. It's becoming a British citizen. So I'm excited to see this and see what the process is like. I assume the process is probably the same for everybody, obviously, but it's different for everybody and their experience. So I'm looking forward to seeing her experience, and so come with me. But before we start, just scroll down. There's links to this video, so you can watch it without me, which I encourage you to do. And then there's also a link that will take you to her channel, so you can go and see all the wonderful places she visits, and she's got a bunch of stuff she does in the UK as well. So I encourage you to get over there. If you have one like or one subscription to give today, I encourage you to go over to her channel and give it to her. It would certainly help her, and it makes me feel really good. that people from our channel family, support the original content creators. So please get over there and do that. Okay, I'm assuming you've already done that. Come sit on the couch. Let's take a look at what's happening.
So, it is snowing in London, and I've got some news for you. I have just become officially a British citizen.
Oh,
About 7
okay.
years ago, I moved to London. A very bold decision that would change my life completely. I still look back
Portugal.
and feel like it was way over 10 years when I was sitting on that plane on my way to visit my best friend and to start a new life. Many things have happened since then, and I am grateful for every single one of them. I'm especially grateful to have been able to find home in a completely different country. To feel like, in a way, I also belong here. I'm not sure if it's the diversity of the city or how natural English has become to me, but I started to feel like England was home. It's this weird feeling that I can't really describe, where you start to share your identity with two different places, with different realities, different cultures, different languages. And you can't pick one over the other. So, after 7 years, I knew it was time to get my British citizenship. I looked it up and realized that there were two things I had to do before starting my application. And
We'll go back. It's interesting. 7 years, and you know, when you live somewhere and you fall in love with it, which obviously she has. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you want to become a part of the fabric of that nation? I mean, it's no different here. And you applaud her for doing it the right way. And it's not easy to become a British citizen or a U.S. citizen or a Canadian citizen. It's not easy, and it shouldn't be easy. And it shows that if you're going to really want to be a part of, in this case, the UK, be a citizen, you should have to jump through some hoops. It shouldn't be easy, right? It should be difficult, because that shows that you really want it. So I applaud her. I think it's amazing what, I mean, it must be a tough decision for most, maybe not for all, but a tough decision, yes, because I assume it's going to be expensive. And there's going to be a lot of, documents and tests, but we're going to find out. I don't want to assume what she had to do, but I just think this makes me feel good watching somebody who wants to be a part of her new home, and she's doing it. She's doing it what we all would like, and I just think it's great. Hats off.
and realized that there were two things I had to do before starting my application. An English test and the very infamous Life in the UK test.
Life in the
For the
UK
English
test.
test,
I basically paid £150 to talk to a guy for like 8 minutes on an iPad. And one thing he said, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was very confused. At the very end, he turns to me and he's like, so do you like celebrating festivals? And I'm like, is that a trap? Do you mean music festivals? But you don't celebrate music festivals. Do you mean festive holidays or festive seasons? So instead of saying something, I was like,
If this is a trap,
so I was like, what do you mean? He's like, Christmas. I'm like, who says that? Who says that Christmas is a festival? Does anyone actually say that? I was like, well, I am not English. Clearly, I'm here to prove that I can speak and understand English. But I've never heard anyone saying that. That's something that generally people say. Just please let me know. I've just never heard it before. So yeah, apart from that, everything went great. I'm pretty sure I passed that test, but I will show you the results whenever I get it. So now I have to rush because I have a class to teach, but Yeah, first part of the citizenship is that.
As for the Life in the UK test, it's incredible how much you actually have to know. No wonder people are scared of it. I had to study between 1 to 3 hours every
Oh
day
no, you
for
gotta
about
learn
2
about
weeks.
the
There
royalty.
was so much to know.
All the kings,
But you know what? I
queens.
was actually pretty
impressed with the history of the UK. So all I have to say is that England was the area of the UK that was constantly conquered, and Scots are badass. Literally the amount of times that someone came to the UK to invade the area and England was constantly invaded. And these guys in Scotland, they were just like, nope, you ain't coming here. It got to a point that a Roman emperor, Adrian, he had to build a wall in order to keep the pigs, the Scots, out of their way. So he built a wall. That's how afraid he was of the Scots. This is why I actually like to study history. It is pretty impressive and interesting. So I'm actually really liking to learn all of this. Well done, Scots.
To divorce his first wife, Henry needed the approval of the Pope. When the Pope refused, Henry established the Church of England. Pretty clever, eh?
So, after much reading and practicing, we decided to book the test.
So it is morning, it's 9 a.m. I just finished with my first and only client that I have today, and I'm gonna spend the entire day just revising. Yeah, 6:30 p.m. I have to be there because my test is at 7. So I'm quite nervous today, but everything will be okay.
I would be nervous. I mean, obviously, especially it's, you know, you have to memorize a lot of facts and historical events, and apparently you have to learn about Henry VIII and all the other Henrys and and the rest of them. So that would be tough. Now, if I were to like take that test now, basically after 2 years of this channel, I think I could stand a pretty good shot, especially if it's multiple choice. You could guess on at least a few of them. So I wonder how, like the threshold of between pass and fail is how many you can miss. But good on her, because I mean, you get it, like I said, if this is something you want, it shouldn't be easy. You should have to work to get it, because you know, I imagine people who say, yeah, I want to become a citizen, start going through all this, paying here, paying this fee here, and paying this fee there, and that's going to weed out a lot of people then coming to this, oh, I don't want to take the time to study, or I don't have time, or, you know, if this is something you really, really want, you're going to make the time. So that's going to weed out some people. So yeah, I think that's part of the reason why it's long, many steps, difficult in some, you know, aspects. It's going to cost money. It's, you know, if this is something you really want, you're going to make it work. And we already know she passed and has become a citizen. So yes, a round of applause for her. I'm very happy for her. That's great.
Quite positive, quite positive. Okay, I am very, 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 very late. Hopefully I can still get on time.
She's late to the test.
I did get there on time. Joel came to pick me up. The test took a lot less longer than I thought. So we have 45 minutes to the test, and I did it in like 10 minutes, I guess. My test, at least, the questions were very tricky. I guess it just depends if you're lucky on your questions or not. On my case, mine were pretty difficult, so I had a couple of them, even though I studied quite a lot. That I didn't know. I remember reading about them like very briefly, but I didn't expect them to be part of my test, nor that I would have to remember them. I generally just try guessing. Some of them I got right, some of them I didn't. I do think it's not that difficult to pass because we only have 24 questions,
if they would ask the entire thing, then forget, it would be extremely difficult to pass. But you still do have to study, and you still need to know quite a lot of stuff in order to pass. And they give you the results in 5 minutes. So like, I'm a bit too obvious. At this time, I think you already know that I've passed.
So she's passed. That's awesome. Here's the thing, and I can't speak for your country, but here in the States, the questions they give you on our citizen chess, I would imagine a ton of people here in our country wouldn't even know the answers. Now, of course, if they were to study and have to go through all that, then yes, of course, most would know it. But just being a product of our amazing education system. See, this is a straight face. I'm saying that. Dang it. Yeah, people aren't going to know, or they've forgotten. Heck, I've probably forgotten a bunch of stuff that I learned, and if it came across, I would forget certain details. I imagine it's the same there. It's just if you're not, actively learning it, if it's not already something ingrained, and if it's some random question about what king and did what during what, it can maybe slip your mind, I would think. I don't know. But yeah, they're going to know a lot about history of your country because they're just cramming for this test. But good for her. I'm very, very happy for her.
After that, it was time to start filling out our application. Because I had my ear surgery 2 weeks after the test, I kind of postponed starting my application.
There's a bunch of stuff that I actually need that I didn't even know. All of my previous addresses in the last 5 years, my parents' details, including their nationalities, what city and country they were born, their date of birth, their full name. And now I got stuck in this part that asks for referees because I don't have them yet.
Referees?
Basically, referees are people who are not related to each other.
Oh.
They need to have...
Okay, yeah, we'd call them references. Okay, yeah, same thing. Yeah, understood. Referees, I just automatically assume we're talking about basketball officials who...
a certain professional status. They should not
Or soccer.
have been involved in any serious offense in the last 10 years. And yeah, there's a bunch of requirements that the referees need to meet, and then I need to ask them a bunch of details, and then they will need to sign a declaration. So I've paused my application until I get my referees, and then I'll come back to it. Okay, so I have got my 2 referees. So that part has been a bit faster than I expected, actually. I think we are on the hottest day of history in the UK, and possibly in most Europe, and it's like 39-40 degrees outside. It got to a point that actually having the window closed is better than open. Anyways, you don't need to know that. So I know this is a very boring part, so I'm gonna just talk about it, but leave a timestamp below, so if you're not interested in knowing exactly what you need for the citizenship, then you can skip that part. So to meet the resident requirements, you must have been in the UK for at least 3 years if you are the spouse or civil partner of a British citizen, for at least 5 years if you are not the spouse or civil partner of a British citizen. You must not have spent more than 270 days outside of the UK in the 3-year period, or 450 days in the 5-year period, which I'm sure I did not. Been outside of the UK for more than 90 days in the last 12 months, which I also haven't, or been in the UK illegally in the 3 or 5-year qualifying period. Just a few minutes ago, I was going through the work. What do I do? My tax number, and I am self-employed. At least I've been since 2017. It's been quite a few years. Now, this is the very horrible part. Details of trips outside of the UK. So if you spend time outside of the UK, which obviously you have, especially if you are a foreigner who has family outside of the country, in the last 3 years if you are a spouse or a civil partner of a British citizen, or in the last 5 years if you are not.
Details
and
of
you have
every
to tell
trip.
them which country you
Wow.
visited, reason for the trip, departure date, return date. And you have to do that for every single trip you did in the last freaking 5 years, which is just great.
So that's a long time. Yeah. And if you weren't thinking about becoming a citizen 5 years ago, you're not keeping all this documentation. Forethought, right? That's okay. Well, they want to make sure. Yeah, I get it. You know, if you're traveling to Iraq or Syria or, you know, wherever, Afghanistan, they're going to want to know why. Obviously, she's not, but yeah, totally understand. It's crazy, though. So if you're married to a citizen, it's only 3 years. And 5 if you're not. Okay.
I have done quite a lot of trips, so that will be a bit of a pain.
I started digging into my flights and I realized that there's a lot of them that I don't have. Apparently I deleted those emails for some reason. So I was trying to look for a solution on how I could find all of my flights. I thought, well, since I use my passport, that information should be somewhere. So I found this page on gov.uk where I can actually request my
that's
personal
cool.
information, but apparently I need to fill out a lot of details and send a copy of my
It's probably gonna
passport,
cost money.
and a solicitor has to certify that this copy is exactly the same as the original, and then I can send all of these documents to the Home Office, and then they can do this application for me, send me all of the details of the flight, so then I can add that to my citizenship
history.
application. This is becoming actually a lot harder than I thought.
Vamos lá ficar mais pobres. You are paying £1,330. Apparently I am.
Here again, how bad do you want to do it, right? Obviously, she did it. Awesome. But that's going to weed out a lot of people who aren't serious about wanting to become part of the nation they fall in love with, right? And want to become a citizen of. So it's a privilege. It's not a right. So great on her. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Now we're waiting for another email that will tell us if we can do our biometrics via an app. And if they say yes, then we don't actually need to book an appointment to do our biometrics. And then we also needed to take our photos. So we took our photos at home, and then we should be all done. Just waiting for the answer, really.
The answer didn't take too long. So a week
See, that's
later,
great.
we booked and paid for our biometric appointments.
Oh goodness, £132 gone. Gone. It hurts.
The appointment was pretty straightforward, and it didn't take too long to get our photos taken and fingerprints registered.
Ah, yes, fingerprints. Get you in the system.
All good?
I didn't record anything else about the citizenship journey. After all, there was nothing for us to do. But wait. And it didn't take very long, as we heard back from the Home Office about a month and a half later.
Today is the 11th of October, and I was going through my emails, and I got my British citizenship. So now I
Was
have
approved.
3 months to actually book my ceremony.
All right, so I am very pleased to tell you that your application has been approved. To complete the process of becoming a citizen, you will need to attend a citizenship ceremony. Okay. You will take an oath. Nice. Pledge allegiance to the Crown and loyalty to the UK. This is a formal promise to Her Majesty, the Queen. See, that's That's awesome. That she was able to do it to the Queen when she had taken the oath. And yeah, this video is a couple years old. Taking the oath, pledge of representatives. That's awesome. Awesome.
The ceremony was probably the easiest and fastest part of the citizenship. And despite our photos looking very different to what I thought they would,
Oh,
they represent a very unique day in my life. The day I became officially and proudly a British citizen.
1,683 pounds. Wow. Congratulations. That is awesome.
One of the things that I wanted to say to you is that this will be officially the last video for the end of 2022. I am not going to release any other video in the next few weeks. And for the next year, I do want to go back to regular uploads, but
She's going to talk about the future of her channel. I encourage you to get over there and support her. I believe she teaches dance or stuff like that. Just guessing. But look at the snow a couple years ago. How awesome is that? Gotta love it. What else can you say? I mean, congratulations. Well done. She did it the way you would all want people to do it. And, Portugal, I imagine, is a wonderful place to live. But, if you're willing to pay the money, which is a lot of money, and go through all the steps and tests and, to get there, then yeah, right? It should be a difficult process. And yeah, good on her. I'm happy for her. That's awesome. Does anyone in our family have taken the test? I'm just curious if you have become a British citizen. Let me know. I'd like to know what your journey was like. I think it's special. I would like to have seen a bigger party there at the end than just a photo. I want balloons. I'd want fireworks. I'd want a parade. Come on. But yeah, I think that's wonderful. And it just makes me smile, and I'm really happy for her. She's a wonderful person. So, congrats, Daniela. I hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. Thanks so much. It's going to be interesting to hear what a lot of you have to say about this. The studying for the history, I think, is the hardest part. Obviously, learning all that again, if it's something that you've already touched on. But I'm just trying to, if you're not new to the country and you've been there a while, you probably have picked up on a lot of things, but having to learn about the history can be difficult. And it's, especially if she's young, so it's probably easier for her, but for someone older, learning a lot about the history can be tough. I've experienced this, because a lot of it I learn, and do I really learn it because it just kind of eventually fades because I'm moved on to something else. So it's been wonderful for me. I would like to take that citizenship test to kind of like the actual one. I know I've taken some quizzes that claim they were, but they were pretty easy. And there's no way I would think one of these citizenship tests would be easy. There's no way. So I wonder if they're out there that I can maybe quiz on. I'll look for some. All right, everybody, have a great, great day. And we'll see you again real soon. All right, bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark and he's